In our next unit, we are going to talk about angles a little bit more and how to measure them. And so in section 2.1, we're going to talk about the degree measure. So a degree is the most common unit used for measuring angles. And to measure angles, we use what's called a protractor. And this is our protractor over here. You can see it goes from 0 degrees all the way to 180 degrees. And if we go one full angle turn, that would be equal to 360 degrees. So if we were trying to draw an angle over here, if we drew one ray and we wanted to go all the way around, we would go all the way around this angle back to where we started. That would be 360 degrees. So you're going in a circle, 360 degrees. Okay? So the next piece we're going to look at is how to measure an angle using a protractor. And so to do that, we have our angle example down below, and the first thing we need to do is line up the vertex and one side of the angle with the protractor. So our vertex is the corner right here. We're going to line this up with this point right here on our protractor. So if I move that over, I'm going to line this point up right here on my angle, and I'm also going to line up this line on my protractor with the line of my angle. So you can see I'm starting right at 0 degrees here. And since I'm using the right side of my protractor to line up, that means I'm going to be using these blue numbers because I'm starting here at 0. If I wanted to use the right side of my protractor, I could line up with this side of my angle, and now I would be starting at 0 with the black numbers here. So you got to pay attention to which side you are using, but let's go back to our other side. So I'm going to spin it around so it's flat, easier to read. So I'm lining this side up, got my vertex on the corner, and this line matching up with my 0, my blue 0. Okay? I don't need to extend my angle here because my angles go out past my protractor here. That's what it's talking about, extend the angles if necessary. If my protractor were really big like this and it was harder for me to measure that angle, then I could extend this line out so I could read my protractor easily. Extend that line out. That's what that part is saying. And our last step is there are two sets of numbers. Use what you know about obtuse and acute angles. So if we take this protractor away, if we look at this angle, you can see that it is greater than 90 degrees. Right? 90-degree angle is a right angle that looks like this. So we have an obtuse angle. This means it's going to be more than 90 degrees. So let's erase that line. Move our protractor back here. If we look at where our angle hits our protractor, it is right here at 50 degrees or 130 degrees. So those are our two options here. We know it's obtuse. We know it's going to be bigger than 90 degrees. So my answer here is going to be 130 degrees. Okay, I also know I'm starting with those blue numbers because I have my protractor lined up with 0 here, so I'm using my first set of numbers. So that is the other way I can tell that this is 130 degrees. Now the other thing we want to be able to do with our protractor is draw an angle using our protractor. So the first thing I need to do is make a vertex. So that's going to be my point, my corner of my angle. And then I'm going to draw one side. So you can use your protractor to make this a straight line. It's not going to let me move those points separate, so I'm going to do it like this. If I redraw my vertex here, just going to move it down a little. If you use the flat side of your protractor, you can draw a nice straight line as your one side. And then you're going to line up the protractor with that point and that line. Line it up on there. And mark the angle degree requested. So we are looking for a 75-degree angle. So I'm going to go to 75 with my blue numbers here, which is right here. And then you are going to use the flat edge of your protractor to connect those points. So if I spin my protractor, no, it's not going to let me do that without moving it. So I'm just going to add in another one. So I can take the flat edge of my protractor, I'm going to line it up with my vertex and my angle marking, and I can create a straight line using that flat edge. And this is my 75-degree angle.